Hello, everybody. I'm back. I know you noticed I was gone. It's Lady Hippy here. And of course, we are at the bar. My roses in the back. My husband was really lovely. Neither of us have felt good. I keep calling it the Augusta plague. I'll probably get the same feedback that the president did calling it a China virus. It's okay to call it the Spanish flu, but you can't call it the China virus. I think everybody knows it's for entertainment purposes. So if you've seen me, if you know me, don't hit if you know me, just, yeah, be nice. And if you know me, go ahead and hit the like, hit share. If you hit the little bell and subscribe, that would be really great. There's nothing to it and it's free. I do not make money doing this, although I am not averse, as I have always said, to making money doing this. I do this because to me it's social Woodstock. And so I tell everybody, I am who I am. I'm not pulling things from somebody else's sites or somebody else's post and talking about somebody else's shit. I'm talking about my own shit. Now, there are a few people who do this and they don't do people's stuff in or be a reactor or, voiceover for this or that thing. So, yeah, you'll see me glance back and forth at the television. And some ways I'm at the bar. And so I'm at the other end of the living quarters that we've created here. My husband did such a bang up job in here. It's gorgeous. I love it. No more carpet. And he had to do it by apparently ill. And so I managed to get up here, and already I think my fever is coming through. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm not at my best and tried hard anyway. I did get dressed today and all the above. I didn't think I would this morning at 6. You have to just like, okay, I'm not going to feel good. I got to get up. Things do not stop happening because one of us are ill or both of us are ill. Yesterday, he took a lot of weight off me and he ran to the store for me because we have like 500 cats. And my poor guy is feeding them alone, but we're barely keeping our chins above water, literally. So I'm going to have to try maybe a GoFundMe page, see what we can do, maybe of turning it into kennels in the back. Who knows? I mean, something has to be done. And they don't stop coming. I see another new one about every week or two, either a smaller kitten type, size, or I've seen one, and I know that they were born here because of their markings. They have the calico, which was the first mother, and the black and white, I called them patches, was the first daddy here. And they took them away and took them, I call it the kill shelter. So I have a lot of problems. They don't like it in Richmond County if you try to help stray animals. And again, we live at the cul-de-sac of a road and we love it here. We've been here over a decade. And there's a forest behind us and beside us. So on two sides of our home, there's forest. There would have been more, but the neighbor has one of those yards and outfits in the back that should be on television. Those FYI channels. It's amazing out there. You could live out there. It's gorgeous. But he had to keep reclaiming acres as soon as he could afford to pay it because they charge $3,000 to take down a tree. Yeah, it's a good job. You can get it. So pay off your house, Louis. Yeah, I can understand. It takes a lot of men, takes a lot of power, all that. But he went way back. Ours is about on an acre footage, which is okay since the water company makes us pay what I call hush money every month based on the footprint of our home. It's not the water usage. We pay a different bill for that. Yeah, they need to put in new pipes. I imagine that black stuff that comes out and it looks like it's mold, but just a little wetter. It strings, it's black. Yeah, everybody's got pure filters. Nobody does anything about drinking any water. It's all bottled. I have a problem because I drink coffee. Ah, yeah, it's like going to Starbucks every other day. You're at home, but yeah, it's not the best. And so I'm trying my damnedest here. I would say, excuse me, but it's why we're on with no kids. I'm who I am. If you don't like me, say so. I dare you. Bring me in. Come on. Give an old lady a fun day. I don't get out much. So, yeah, I forgot. I did need to touch on it. I have a little white blouse on, scoop bottom, a floor length pleated skirt on that's wide. I just have the shirt lapsing over the front. Unfortunately, for my short, so unless I want to hem the skirt, I have to pull it up kind of high. So you don't want to wear it like that if you don't have to. I don't have to, but I really hate to take it in because the bottom seems so lovely. And yes, my husband is very good about. He says I have too many clothes. He's right. Yes, he's right. But if I ask for a new pair, he will get them for me, bless him. And he can find my clothes. I can't find them. We'll go into Burlington. Burlington's one of my favorite, and he's really good about that. And I'll go. I head for the ladies, and he'll go, "Oh." So Trey comes along. He's a little behind me, looking at other stuff. I can't find a thing. I'm looking in the clearance rack. He finds 12 things and says, "You can have one." He knows they won't work. So, poor guy. I have no room in any closet in the house. And he has still a little bit of a closet in the man cave, mainly in the drawers, because he has three sets of dresser drawers. It's a very big room. Technically, I have three sets of drawers as well. I actually have another six if I count the nightstands. They're great. And I have actually, I think, more storage space in the bedroom than I do out here, which is why I'm having a bit of a bitch fit saying, oh God, I have to clean the house. We have had the worst time in trying to find litter that didn't add this, like you were in the middle of this, Pompeii and Vesuvius erupted. There's just dust freaking everywhere. You get it off, and 2 days later, you're like, what the hell? And you can't just get it off. It's dirt. So if it gets wet or if you're trying to do the Windexing thing, whatever, you have to get out all your cleaning supplies and start. And then you have to oil it all down because I love the furniture. And I oil the bar, I oil my new china cabinet, of course, my cherry wood tables and so forth. Yeah. And right now, all of the ceramic statues are piled on the sofas and the love seat because I have new shelving that Robert got me that it has glass in it to help protect it, keep it from getting so dirty. Well, that didn't work out so well. So I have the bottom of one of the shelves is glassed in. The top shelf, however, is not. But I did find stop that. Just my cats are driving. I'm going to have to hurt a cat on television. For some reason, my Tassie, and they've been with us since we had to wean them all. That's another story. Um, he'll get up now. And Pixie, who was our latest rescue, and now she's been replaced by four others, another long story. So, yeah, it's something, I'll tell you what. Yeah, so we got to do this. All the time, I have to tell them, these two, Tazzy and Pixie, they think they have to be on television. So you have to forgive me because I'm not trying to get in trouble for animal cruelty. So I'm trying not to kill him. And then Tassie got the idea, got down. So sometimes they'll communicate with you. Most of the time, it's I screw you. So, again, I'm trying my darndest not to point out what I've been seeing on television. When you don't feel well, there's like not a lot of entertainment. There's a couple of games I'll play on my Chromebook. Not too many because I don't want to take up memory on there, but I end up, I have two. My husband makes sure I'm current. He's very good about those things, tablets, phones. And so I really don't worry about those things. Same with my car. I think today is the first, I forgot to look at the calendar. And so we have birthdays and our anniversary this month. Oh, yay. Yeah, we're looking forward to that, poor as we are. I'm thinking of looking at Goodwill for some stuff. So, yeah. And I fidget when I get up here. I don't know what that is, but I fidget. Everybody knows what's going on. Yes, he gives me my little cigars. And I get to have them basically when I'm doing this or very little any other time. And he's right. I don't buy them myself. My husband takes care of everything. Luckily, I'm going to die first. It'd be a bitch otherwise. Mm, yeah, I am from the hippie generation. We were the ones that were going to party hard, die young, leave a good looking corpse. We lied. Our kids are going, you still here? I'm only an exit away. It's like, oh, hey. We go for the high holidays about 12 times a year. I'm not kidding. Mm-mm. I'm not everybody loves Raymond's mother. I don't believe in that. We could be living next door to each other, and I still wouldn't be over there like that. I like my privacy, and I extend that same courtesy to the children and the grandchildren. My grandson, who's 25, lives just about a mile and a half away as well. And I've been keeping an eye on these protests. I don't know what to say that's going to be nice. Nothing actually that I have to say is going to be nice. if I say anything about this. I was all off about the trip that the Secret Service are saying they're incompetent. You know, they're incompetent. No, no, they're not. They're traitors. They're murderers. They're attempted murderers. And did I say treason in there? Yeah, yeah. Why is it so difficult for anybody to see that, even though now we have the acting director of the Secret Service? The director of the Secret Service resigned finally after several days of being grilled by the Senate, which I watched. It's really awesome. Yeah, they go. They're politicians, folks. Let me tell you what they can talk shit better than any politician I ever seen, and that's going some ways. Let me tell you, I had a friend who was a senator for years back when the Watergate was still open. Hence my little stiffener. Yeah, she managed this little girl. Yeah, she managed to say absolutely nothing. Made him really pissed. Didn't matter. They've done this before. Hillary, everybody has done this, testify before Congress while they're going, if anybody knows what that means. My generation does. So I'm like, okay. So she says she doesn't have that information yet. As one of the senators pointed out, it's been 9 days and there's a person who's dead and 2 still fighting for their lives. When are you going to have that shit? She didn't know. She didn't know. Yeah. They didn't have the statistics on how far away the building was. Did they check the building? Who was responsible for securing that building since it was less than 200 yards away? This inexpert young 20-year-old managed to get off 8 shots, folks. Count them. 8 shots before the Secret Service could get close to former President Trump. They were nowhere near the man. You should have seen the one trying to find her holster. That was just what? It's like they picked every short ass woman they had in the Secret Service and stuck her on the detail with a couple of dudes who were also short. This guy's like 6'2". Son's Barron is like 6'4", I think, maybe even taller. President Trump might be taller. I mean, Melania, beautiful lady. I'm very proud of her. She stuck it out, bless her heart. She's terrible time. Barron was just a teenager. It's a hard time. And I wouldn't want to do it. You couldn't pay me. And you didn't pay him. Nobody points that out. No, because he told you, you people are paying the UN per year more than every other country combined. We shouldn't do that. By the way, we funded who absolutely paid them to invent the China your pandemic. Y'all ain't pissed about that shit yet? Oh, those who had businesses should be way pissed off because they don't have them no more. Walmart does and Target does. What else did they leave open? Not a church, not a school. Most places of business. It was so bad. Even my grandson worked there after returning in the Army and becoming just a veteran instead of active duty. Now my remote doesn't want to work. When it goes to commercials, you can hear them outside. But when I'm sitting here at the bar, and my husband, thank God, he mounted the TV. We used to have it just on a stand. And I love the stand, don't get me wrong. But it is nice to have it up out of the way, put some shelving in there. And that was nice to change up the living space. In any event, yeah. So again, I try not to say too much about that because, well, apparently, like with Tony Robertson, the young man who's been saying for years, and they've been putting in jail for hate speech, that all you're doing is letting the terrorists move here and use our laws to kill us and jail us. And boom, he's back in jail. So what about that sentence was wrong? I can't find it. 11 people nearly stabbed to death. 3 little babies, 6 to 9 years old died. 6 to 9 years old died. They had 13 airlifts out there. They had air flights out there. This was so bad. Supposed to be 17-year-old boy. He turns 18 in 6 days, it turns out, today. They went ahead and released his name, exactly who I said it would be. Only Muslims go out and attack little girls with knives, technically. Women are nothing to them. Nothing. They're worse than nothing. They're only there to provide maybe a baby or two and food and whatever else comfort they're supposed to have. The women don't have any comfort. It's 120 out there. They're wearing all this black shit all over. You see their eyes. Would you like to be wrapped up in that shit? But they say it's okay. You actually elected one to Congress. Yeah, I'm not going to even bother to mention her by name because she doesn't deserve the title at all. She just gets up there and does propaganda. They all do. It's propaganda. It's worse than that. It's okay for the terrorists to attack and kill you because they have to come here. The Arab speaking countries will not take one of these people. Not one. Not one. They put tents up in the desert for them over there. I believe it was Iran. Might have been Egypt. Maybe. I think it maybe they sent tanks too. And not a damn one of them will they take. And they said so. And that's why we're not taking a terrorist into our nation. What did every other free nation on the planet do? Oh, come on over here, come on over here, whoa, and put them in whole fucking tails. Yeah, I meant that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it still burns me a new ass. You have veterans living on the street, and you could put these bastard terrorists in hotels, and you're going to tell me how do I know they're terrorists? Oh, I don't know, maybe killing little girls from 6 to 9 years old. This, yeah, screams terrorist. Hate crime. I don't give a freak how you label it. But they did release this dumbass name. And this is the other, they've got, just like the United States, you can't kill them. They get it for life. They're in until, in some cases, 8 to 10 years only for killing people. You take care of them. You give them medical. You give them food. You give them a place to sleep. You get them all this shit. Phones. And those are just the ones that are in prison. At some point, people have to stand up and say that doesn't make me a racist because I don't like the son of a bitch that'll come up and kill little girls with a knife. That makes you a racist for trying to label me one. I had the same free rights that you do, only I was already here, bitch. Yeah. So bring it. I have been begging you shitheads to come and talk to me. Come and talk to anybody who believes that everybody should be welcome. Come in the legal way and don't kill little children. Is there a problem with that? Stay where the hell you are. Yeah. You seem to have no problem killing babies. Why the hell did you come here? Huh? You out there with the Palestinian flag yelling they murdering babies. What the hell you doing? What the hell you doing? In my country? In their country? Everybody else's country but your damn own. Why don't you go fly that damn flag back in Palestine and see what the hell it gets you? Huh? Was there a reason you to freaking leave to begin with? Oh, you bet your sweet bippies there was. Huh? How come nobody's asking that damn question? How come nobody's saying you can't fly the Palestinian flag? You can't burn the Union Jack. You can't burn the United States flag. They're not. They're not doing that. None of that. No. Yeah. That's. We gotta let them do what they do. Why the hell for? Why do you put people like Tommy Robertson in jail? Because he's up there saying the same thing I'm saying right here. He said it here. He started getting a following. I doubt I'll get that. I'm an old grandma. I don't care. I'm an old bitch. I've been on this rodeo for a long time. I said back in the early 80s, in fact, I even said it in the 70s, especially coming back and forth from Europe, you guys are next. And I was shocked that it was actually not done until McVeigh in 96 kind of thing, give you a head start. But there was also a first bomb underneath the towers. Yeah, people forget that too. That's why they knew, let's fly these damn planes in there because that'll do it. And I'm still not sure. If you don't believe me, go look at the engineers about their clips that they put out about the towers falling. In particular, Building 7, who never received any damage, was not on fire, didn't hit by a plane, nothing. It come down. These are government buildings, and it goes further into detail there. And I'll just let you see if that's a conspiracy you want to get with. Holy Hannah, I'm hot today. And I've got a tad fever, which I can't communicate, so I think we're good to go. So between Trump and the little babies being murdered and protecting these people from country to country to country, it's just more than I could begin to think. In our country, and I had noticed in particular with New York, several other cities, New York, Seattle, Portland, even in California, San Francisco, and so forth, they're just squatting now. And they've taken over anything that was greenery, parking, no matter what it was. Whole cities are homeless, filled with homeless, because they have finally had to get some out of the hotels. I don't know what happened there. I know a lot of people said, why are they being put in hotels? What hotels are going to keep all these people? Well, this is what knows me. Yeah, I see I go the wrong way because it's backwards on camera. It's a cute little thing. So, why would they do that? Well, that's an easy answer up in it. What do you do when the government says they'll pay you every month X amount of thousands? You guys put these people up. Well, you line up to get that government money because it's during the pandemic. That shit started. Oh, that's so hot. So, why would they give up their money? Well, they had to finally give up and say something, or at least rotate them out because of the damage being done. I saw this in Britain. I've seen it in Scotland. I've seen it in Ireland. And before this attack happened, people were starting to get really pissed. They couldn't even find home and shelter for themselves before they sent 500,000 people to these places. They just didn't have the housing to begin with. Um, and so they're coming into homes that are vacant for even a day or two, and then you have to go through this process. And here as well, in our major cities, you have to go through this major legal process to have them taken out. And by the time you don't even have a shell of place. If you're lucky, all they did was piss around the corners and stuff. And I've seen tons of those videos. I did some deep diving while I was sick, and I was shocked at how many squatters there are, and the law favors the squatter, and they know the law. They can't be harassed by the police. You have to go through the courts. You have to wait these 90 days or whatever it is. I mean, these people, some have been there a year or two, and they got, it's a 5-bedroom place on the top of a restaurant, so they got 58 people sleeping in there, paying them $9 an hour or whatever. Yeah, yeah. These empty warehouses. You see this a lot of the older towns, smaller towns in particular, like here in Georgia, in the rural areas. You see whole areas like that. That used to be a dealership, so it's fairly big. Well, it ain't dealership no more. Ain't nobody in there. It's just boarded up, bricked up, what have you. Well, they break in and they start using that entire space, and they don't do anything nice to it. If there's no facilities, they just use buckets or even maybe no bucket. It's just awful. And yet these people that own it are still trying. Whoa. So I hope there's an awareness out there and that people will start to eventually help the homeowners. In particular, I've seen in Britain, basically in Britain, I haven't seen too many that have done it this bad in the others, but they're doing it. I would have to say Seattle and Portland and New York are bad, bad, bad. They showed parking garages in New York City. Oh my God. The Amtrak is how people get around a lot. Same with Chicago, um, the bigger cities. And these parking garages, people got out, went in, did this or that, and realized there was holes, oh my God, in the floors, on the first floor, which has got to be even scarier. Um, they're parking 3 times the amount of cars that are supposed to be allowed in there for weight. They're doing that times 3. And you can look through the hole and see the Amtrak trains run by, and it's just, and so they showed you the concrete. It's sand almost. They had to call 911 on one of these because it was any second it's going to go. It was so bad that many of the cars have been left in there until they can get safety measures put in so they can remove those cars. And those cars, a lot of them belong to people who are out of state. They drove up, they parked there. And mind you, parking is $27.50 for 2 hours, and that's a deal. I thought it was bad when we had to pay $5.50 or something at the hospital. Yeah, I know next time I'm going to look through that place after I leave and make sure there's no holes and stuff in them. I don't know. They had it brightly painted, brightly lit, but it was, if you looked, really looked at it, not that the data show gets you pay no attention, which most of us do. We just run through, run out, or whatever. You're not looking to see if it's rusted bars, if the concrete is turning to sand, if there's holes. You're not looking for that. You're looking for the excess so you can do what you're going to do. So there's just like nothing good today to talk about other than I'm here and I have live chat on. I usually do. Problem being is I usually come up at this time of day. My husband's so great. I tell everybody each time, here we go. It reminds me of my flying days. I used to fly around the world a lot. And my husband buys these for me. It's a little cinnamon thing. Well, it's whiskey with a little cinnamon. It's really good. And he'll get those for me, and I call them my stiffeners. He calls me a lush. So, he does. I almost earned that title. I'm working at it, trust me. So I'm hoping that I know, like I said, I got live chat up. If you're not here live, that's good too. If you see me at all, like I said, throw some share, like something in that damn thing. It's for entertainment purposes only. It's the only reason I get up here. I'm that damn entertaining. So I know there's others that feel like I do, and many people that I've talked to, and I wanted to interview and have this discussion, one on one here at the bar. And I have the equipment and all that. Yeah, and I am still a rank amateur. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate the hell of that. So so I have things ready and all that. There's several problems. People are more frightened than I would have given credit to be speaking their mind at all on television, because this is basically you're on television, and I do broadcast live. I think that's only fair. I get it for free. I'm not gonna. You can broadcast it later. You can do all those things. I don't think it's as much fun. I think I'd be more frightened if I did it. I've had a lot of people say, "You don't get crazy about being there. You don't know how many people are watching." I was like, "That's the deal." No, I'm not a shy person per se. I'm very aware of my privacy. I don't like that breach to. Now I wouldn't do it to someone else, which again is why I see my son like 12 times a year. Make sure he's off. Yeah, my granddaughter. She's going to be 12 in just a few days. Holy Moses. And she's taller than me. Beautiful, tall girl. I worry a lot. I do. It was bad enough in my day. And with the hot pants and the mini skirts. And yes, I wore up and down one. I look good too. I don't look good. I had pictures. So, so you wouldn't think that would be so bad nowadays. And my granddaughter likes the grunge look, and I had to look it up when I got back home because it's just baggy like her parents did, about the same age, but her pants fit. They're just very loose. And there's a big belt, with the oversized shirts, I guess, and all this. Either way, she rocks it. She really does. I was a little bit dismayed. She, like me, had not really cut her hair. And I think I was about the same age as her, either 12 or 13. And I kept getting headaches. And my mom would stick mine up in a big ponytail, with 15 rubber bands. So you had to yank all that out and have your hair. So I always had a headache. And they decided, for some reason, the nurse decided I should have my hair cut so I wouldn't have a headache. And they sent this note to the mother. And she walked us around the corner where there's a woman doing this in her basement. Yeah, that should have been a clue. And where I grew up, suburbia, it was like the beginning of suburbia. So we had like these 2 blocks, and then there was a store, and they actually built a McDonald's when I was about 11 or 12. I remember seeing the first 100,000 sold. Yes, I'm that old. Jack in the Box was cool too. They opened right by the school. And then they had to change everything because you could go through there and you put on hamburgers, fries, whatever. They had the big bins. You just grabbed it. People were throwing it over there. Sliding it. They lasted about a week, shut down, and redid that whole bed. So, you had to go through a couple of guard dogs and get your taco. But that was it, and a post office, a couple of gas stations. So, and a Dairy Queen that was like on the way to school. We used to walk to school a lot. I mean, those buses are the same today. There's no seat belts. Well, they didn't have heat. They didn't have air. You couldn't breathe on them things. You could barely breathe outside, but it was easier walking home than it was getting on that stuffy ass bus. In the winter, we'd skate to school. Literally, sometimes we didn't need skates. Just this a little over 2 miles, I think the walk is, or something like that. But my husband says I went to a resort because you had whole other buildings that were like the language building and the gymnasium buildings and the theater buildings, and it was like a college campus, really. Very nice, very nice. Had I don't know anybody else, especially in the South, they probably don't know it, but in the North, they have the nuclear tunnels. And this was as big as the street back then. Not the streets today, but say a residential street today is different. So back then in the 70s, a little bit smaller, But they were still pretty, you could go 2 cars, but you could go five, six, whatever. No turning lanes. You just, you know. So they had these things, and they were about, I think, 8, 9 feet up, something. It might have been 10 feet, but they were nuclear shelters. So everybody from the school would run down there, and people who lived in suburbs around there would come down here. You know, duck and cover days. They like we thought that was kind of where we used to think that was howling funny. And almost inevitably, somebody would yell "duck and cover" just to see who would do it. It was a lot of fun when we were in gym classes. I mean, 'cause somebody would do that, and you had various exits. So you went down this hallway and then down this door of stairs, and you were in the tunnels. And so in the winters, and we had swim classes all year round. We went to school from September to July, maybe June. I say June, beginning of June, first week of June. Not like here. We went from Labor Day after Labor Day and then to June. And we picked our own classes. It was like a college campus. My high school was. I graduated from 2 high schools and college before I went in the Army. And I wasn't quite 18 when I went in the Army. My mom had to sign for me. Dad refused. World War II hero, did not think women should be really in the service. I didn't get that, but I was adopted. I'm not going to argue here. My sign this. I only had her do it because the recruiter had to meet her. And I was like, Mom, don't drive. Dad's sick. You have to come to the house. This guy came all the way from Carbondale. We lived in a little place called Christopher outside of Benton, Illinois. So it's about an hour different because I went to college in Christopher. Yeah. So it was that small. That was where they retired. So I went ahead and went to school again because I was bored stupid and I couldn't leave yet. Then I always worked for the principals, the deans, somebody. This little high school barely had anybody in it. So I helped them out. I mean, really, they did this little town where they actually retired. I was like, oh my God. They didn't have nothing. You couldn't even go to the store. There was no store there. There was no fast food there. Nothing. Just nothing. I think there was a gas station like on the main artery out of town, but in order to grocery shop, you had to go to Benton, Illinois, and that was like 30 miles. So you had to go 60 miles to do anything. I don't know if they knew that when they bought it. I don't know. Um, yeah, and I'm afraid they both passed there, and they were happy, and that was the important thing. Father had actually made him a new garden out back. These people, excuse me, lived through the depressions, World War II, World War One, and then of course the following problems that arose in the 50s and 60s, which was the government taking all their money from there. Dang, nabbit. I swallowed the wrong way. I have a bad throat today, too. I remember Father being so angry. How many times do you get to see an old woman choke to death on live TV? Oh, just toss it. Okay. I could do the edit thing. I always say, okay, this isn't great. I'm going to cut this part. I'm going to go edit. I never get to the editing. Hell, I haven't even been on Facebook lately. I've been trying to get back to everything. My husband is very good about any animals that are there. We try to help them. We try to feed them, water them, and it gets more and more expensive. They bring their freaking friends. And like I said, every day there's just another one somewhere near us. Excuse me. So you end up adding more food. And the next day there's another bowl. And actually, you just use these little plastic bowls. And I know the neighbors got to be tired of it because I said the neighbors area is just gorgeous. And the cats, of course, will go over there. Now, we have a couple of RVs, a couple of boats, a couple of motorcycles. My husband made it through stage 4 cancer. And nobody really does that. So he's able to buy whatever. If he can afford it, he can have it. He doesn't insure all of it unless he's going to use it. And bless his heart, he hasn't felt well at all in the last few months. And neither have I in the last week or two. I have, in the time that I started this in the beginning of January. I hadn't missed maybe a day in 4 or 5 months. And then suddenly I was missing a day and then 2 days. And this time I've been out 4 days. And I apologize. And usually I would try to keep in touch on Facebook if I'm not up here, because I figure anybody who knows me on Facebook, they can easily pick me up here. And I just don't have time to, I don't have the time to indulge both. I don't know about the rest of you, but I found it very time consuming to just run through this or that, like this, like that, post that. And I look up and I've since spent 2.5 hours and dinner's late. So, and then I started my podcast. And my husband, like I said, he's very good about this. My son and my husband both bought me the starter kits to be a podcaster for Christmas last year. And that's why I was able to go on at the beginning of January. And as I was trying to explain before, the people don't like being related to a hippie thing. They think that's a drug related thing. So they don't like that. And they're not sure they can speak as clearly and freely as I do on here. They seem to be rather reticent about wanting to do so. Completely understand that. You can't twist somebody's arm. That's not a good interview. And so here I've done almost 8 months. I guess I'm into the 8th month now, and I still don't have a guest. And I don't want to change the channel. I don't want to rebrand it. I just don't want to change it. Sorry. And so I've stuck with, I am the Lady Hippie and I am at the bar. And that's, for me, truth is everything. We all have an opinion. And that's different than saying you have to listen to me because this is my opinion. And that's what's being done to the free world. And until you stand up and go, this isn't racist, what I'm saying is not racist. If what you say isn't freaking racist because you're flying the flag of a country you left, why don't you take your ass back and protest there? Oh, I get it, because they shoot you. Yeah. They gang rape you if you're female. Put that little thing on. Yeah, put that scarf on. You're just so brave. Jackasses, every damn one of you. You're I don't know, evil. That's almost the best term I can put it with this stuff anymore. And they were yelling because the mosque was attacked. Seriously? Seriously. Have you seen the places of worship for the people of India? Or the people, say, of Pakistan or Palestine or Afghanistan? The stands. Do you know how much of your money has gone into that? How much of your money has gone to pay the terrorists? Look at it, a temple of the faith of the Indians. Yeah, look at one. It's beautiful, and they definitely worship. But I used to work for hotels under these people, and if it was a joke back then, 7-Eleven was always, hi. I mean, I'm not trying to displace an entire people. I'm saying that's the way it was back in the 80s. You had if you were from India, you owned a 7-Eleven. And in the 90s, it was if you're from India, you've got 5 to 10 people from India who are your relatives, and you own a Motel 8. And then you start taking, and this was before computers made it big. And I was there. I know what was going on. So if it was a cash sale, because people still used cards back then, but they were credit cards, didn't have the debit cards until like the I'd say late 90s, unless you were, like I said, a Federal Reserve one. In any event, the cash was being taken. I mean, it was like this. They were taking it from purse to purse, and there were stacks of the stuff. Yeah, stacks of it. Now, if you look into it, these people come here, they get a brand new property, they live on top of the property, and they keep 4 or 5 rooms for their relatives who are going to do the work. They run the desk, they run the laundry, they run all the cleanup services. So they get paid too. They get checks. And your kids and the nieces and nephews you brought over go to classes for free at the local college because they're from another country. At one point, somebody doesn't go, damn, I worked 3 jobs to go to college for 6 months. That's me. Basically, you had to condense it fast and get through there. You couldn't afford it. Now let's forgive their debt now. Let's let them fly that Palestinian flag on the college campus and forgive their debt. Are you nuts? And people are afraid to say so? Well, that tells me several things. In particular, one brilliant thing that's just like an atomic bomb went off is like, okay, they're scared of their own damn country. And they're willing to keep letting these people destroy their country because they don't want to be racist. It's not racist to say don't kill people. It's not racist to say don't kill little girls. It's simply not freaking racist. It's not racist to pay your own damn bills. It's not racist to come here and live as an American. I don't care if you're a Muslim. You have to be American. If you're Pakistani, Palestinian, Afghanis, stay there. Don't bring it here. We don't want that shit. We don't want that shit. We're allowing you to come to our country because you say you're fleeing a war zone. You're the Ukrainians, so forth and so on. You're fleeing a war zone. Well, that's how all of us go. Sure, why not? And that's the way you go through there. Okay, you do that legally. We don't have a problem with that. What we have a problem with is, like I said, the stacks of cash that are going through the mosques, through the temples, and that's true of every one of them. Churches, just go face places of worship. We just put it together. Sound like Nancy Pelosi. No, I do not have that refrigerator, but I am so looking forward to earning the money for that. Yeah, I'm retired, so feel sorry for me. Send me that fridge. No, don't. Send me the money. I would love to go to Bali or the Bahamas, like the broad from the DA, Fannie Willis in Atlanta. Of course, they just say Fulton County. Fulton County, folks, is Atlanta, Georgia. No, I'm not from Georgia, you could tell. No, no, I'm Chicagoan. I'm just as ashamed of them. Yeah, yeah, I loved how she was questioned about the monies that disappeared because they were told you can't spend these monies. They're a grant from the government to do this or that. She took the grant, went to the Bahamas, took her boyfriend with her. He was married with a beautiful wife, also an attorney. He was an attorney. He was being paid to be an attorney for the DA's office. Yeah, they had to have extra ones. That was the Trump case. Yeah, another one that was dismissed. Wonder why? Excuse me. You got to wonder too if the corruption goes all the way to the governor, the Supreme Court of Georgia. Yeah, because it does. Yeah. The only good thing is you can hold their feet to the fire when you're like this, And this was advertised, or I was advertised, but I'm an old woman. It was just filmed and it was YouTubed or whatever, but it was live and I could see it. And well, where did you get the money to pay him back? I keep cash. My father raised me. Get down, Rennie. Get down. Now that's Serenity. She's got to come through here too. Just get going. Get going. It's just more than it's like they got to be in the picture. I get 3 or 4 of them down, 5 or 6 to show up. No, we do not need more cats. We need help. I do need to try to do that. I haven't done that, but for my husband's sake, I need to try to do a GoFundMe page. Anybody has any suggestions for any of those things, please put them in the comments. Hit the live chat. So far, guys, the Black Hawk helicopters have not showed up here. Okay. I know Peter are rather reticent about the term hippie. They'll be labeled drug addicts. I give a shit. I give a shit. Nobody should give a shit what the government calls you. The point is, you are who you are. In America, you're allowed to be anybody you want to be as long as you don't break the law. And apparently, if you come to America illegally and do everything illegally, including squat and tear down homes and businesses, that's legal too because you're an immigrant. So don't be afraid of the government. They're busy with the immigrants going, oh, you can do that. Sure. You want to piss in the corner? Go ahead. You find me one that ain't doing that. You find me a mosque, a temple, a church that has not got stacks of money going out. They're not, none of these are the original ones. All these have a hub, either Jerusalem or so forth and so on, Mecca, New Delhi, So this is all going those places. And it needs to be understood. These people are not poor. They do work hard. I give them that. They work very hard, but it's given to them. If you gave a family here in the United States a brand new motel and they had 7 years to pay it off for the tune of $38,000 or some shit, it's ridiculously low. And you do that with the proceeds from said place that you're living in and running for free. Mm-hmm. For free. Until that 7 years is, and then it's time to pay it if you haven't already paid it off. How many Americans would jump at that chance? They're not. The average Joe is not giving that shit. I know I checked into it. I was like, damn, that's a good deal. No. It's not the way it is for us. who are already citizens, whether we were born here, parents born here. Most of us are immigrants. Really, if you go back far enough. And apparently, if you're a certain race or a certain color, you can go back to 1600 and somebody owes you shit. I don't get the idea, but I can understand going back to 1600. Because then, let me see, what was that all about? Oh, yeah, let's kill all the people who are already here. Drop two bombs on an island, two nuclear bombs on an island. An island. That one, they had to drop freaking two on an island. Look, there's four left. Oh my God. Like, don't get me started. If there is a particular subject that you want to talk about, or I haven't glossed through enough, please throw it in the comments. I hope nobody's coming my nose. It's just don't say it. I don't feel up to company. And I love the fact that when I do have company, I mean company that comes inside, it's when my house hasn't been touched because I've been in bed for 3 days. And oh my God, there's just nothing is in the right place. There are things here and there. It's just life. But I hate things that are out of place. And it happens in particular when you're not well. For my house, it does. And my husband was already unwell. That's why I said it was so sweet. He brought me roses and everything. And he took care of at least the animal food stuff because that's all bulk. And I swore the last time I really I can't do this again because then my back is out. And that's why I had missed so much time in July. I was just in that much pain. It's fun stuff, yeah. And if I'm saying I'm in that much pain, it means beyond what you would experience having a child. Um, yeah, I can deal with that because it stops. But the pain that I encounter with my back when it does that is shoot me time. Please kill me time. Where's the fucking bullets? My husband just won't shoot me. Good guy. And indulges me in many things. But I told him I wouldn't be very long this morning. I said I already got my hour, and apparently I like to do this shit. I'm thinking I got soured on house cleaning. Yeah. And I love the outfit I'm wearing. I've been going in through my closet because I thought, oh, I'll take out stuff I don't wear. I did, and then I wore it. It didn't go nowhere. I wore it. I've had people say, I've never seen you in the same thing twice. I did look through some of my podcasts, and I did see a few things that I was recycling there for a while. But when I noticed it at the time happening, I stopped that shit. I try not to buy new clothes. I like the Goodwill too. The protesters I've been listening to in Britain, where those kids were killed by a knife wielding bastard. Yeah. And they're protecting that son bitch. I'm thinking they probably should bring back shit like, hey, we're having a hanging today at 12 and half the city shows up. Probably stop that shit. At what point do they start doing that shit? New York is so bad. I think it was Costco was the stores open. Target's closed, everybody has closed their business there. Fast food, it didn't matter, right? And this is in particular like Hell's Kitchen and so forth. There's nothing in there. Now you can't shop. You have to go Manhattan, I guess. And Cash Jordan, shout out guy. He's got some great videos on there. If you'd like more information, I'll put you something in the comments. So you can just do Cash Jordan on a search and you'll pull them up. And first they were stealing everything in these high-end stores. And they didn't even smash it. They just walked in with big bags, filled them up, walked out. Cops standing there. Didn't think that would get worse? Yeah, it did. So now there's no stores open. Costco is still open, but it's chained in. Everything's chained out. I got it takes 15 hours to buy a goddamn thing of eggs in that place. So I'm looking at all this. And then I'm thinking, okay, now what next? I know they're going to get folk because New York is like that. I haven't been, but the one time I had a flyover there and a layover. And oh my God, Yeah, and I was with my buddies, and I was active duty. So yeah, you didn't wear a uniform. No, no, it's too close to Vietnam back then. So it was bad, and now it's beyond belief. He was. It's just, oh my God. They were hitting the higher end places, the cafes who had people outside. They were just coming by with their bikes or walk up and take their shit, take their jewelry, take their phones. Now, the phone thing, they were making a lot of money from it. I'm like, why couldn't the carriers who got a call from the owner say, okay, cut this off or tell the cops where it is? I mean, they know where it is. They didn't do that apparently because these guys keep stealing all this shit. Well, then it was next. What's the next thing? Then they hit the fast food restaurants. Oh, yeah, for the food even. Take it out the food from behind it. If there was a cop, they weren't moving. Then they moved on to laundromats, crowbars. Yeah, smash that shit one to pieces. Nobody could do their laundry there no more. They done ripped them apart to get the change out. Then they sold the shit on the car on the sidewalk in front of the place they just vandalized, which is now closed. But the cops are finding some of them and giving them tickets because they don't have a permit. Then, of course, you started seeing the mopeds. I call them mopeds, the little fast little motor bicycle kind of thing. Thousands of them. Now they can come up, grab your shit, keep going. They go in and out of traffic. They go against the traffic. They don't have anything legal on it. No insurance, no title, no tag. Thousands of them. And the cops are slowly catching them. They said they got 46,000 of them so far this year. 46,000. Now, I don't know about y'all, but it looks like Gaza. You bring all these people in. They never paid for anything in Gaza. Everything was supplied by the Israelis: gas, water, food, phones, apartments, jobs. Everything was supplied by the Israelis, and nobody paid anything for it in the Gaza Strip. And you've taken all the Gaza Strip with you. So, in all the free countries of the world, they keep going until they've made your city the Gaza Strip. And if you don't believe me, put it in whatever city you want to look at. And I mean, look at. Do they have thieving going on? Are people being killed? Are people being burnt down? Is there smashing in every major city? This is going on around the world. And a few people have finally said they've had enough, and that would be in Scotland and Britain now, since the murders of these babies. Mm, 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 mm. I get out of my soapbox again. I can't really afford to do that today. I feel that good. So everybody, come see me. Come tell me it's not just me, or come tell me that it is just me. Just come see me. I don't really think that so far, anyway, that we're going to be arrested because we're speaking out and saying the truth. Now, of course, we may get some hate mail. There's always those. I hope not. I don't pay attention to it. I don't have any hate for them. I have just the honest truth. And the honest truth is that every free city, every free nation on the planet is in trouble. And they need to work on that. They need to remember who they are. If these people are doing this, and in many places, Stockholm, Germany, Sweden, the Netherlands, they instantly revoke whatever visas they have, if they even have those, and repatriate them immediately to the country of origin. There's not a 24-year wait. No, they're taken like within a couple days, and you're out. And if this continues, all of you are out, except maybe a select few that were born there. I'm not sure. They are changing their laws because if they don't, more of their people are going to die, and more of their people are tired of dying. They're tired of saying, send me, you're hungry, you're poor, you're displaced, and then being killed and murdered and burnt out of their businesses, homes. It's time for everybody to stand up and be real and stop this stupid, I don't know what you call it nowadays. They call it something. I don't know. It's not the truth. It's the truth only as they want it to appear with you. And it's in your face with a bullhorn, their truth is. I'll shove that bitch right up their ass. Let me talk to you now. So I'm just mean like that. We all have a right to say what we feel and what is the truth, at least as we perceive it as well, just as they do. But when they do that with things like this, like in Paris, The opening of the Olympics is another one I would start on. Oh my God. And I loved hearing about the fact that they were doing this so green that they didn't use any air conditioning rooms. And the beds are made of cardboard. I shit you not. You can't make this up. So they have the Summer Olympics. And I used to, my son, I sent him to the Summer Olympics down in San Antonio when we lived there. We were so happy to get it. It was a big thing and a lot of mess for us. But what I'm seeing here is like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's the Olympics. It's not supposed to be something where you recognize a particular group. It's what the Olympics are for, is not to recognize a particular person or thing, except the sport that they're competing in with the world. That's it. It's just the sport. It's not who's doing the sport. It's not whether they have a beard or whether they have or understand that they're a girl or what the what. I mean, it's so bad that which biblical is what a lot of us are calling it, that Paris actually lost power, and the only thing that was on was the church way. Now the Americans sent you. They knew this, and so they sent air conditioning units ahead. However, these beds are made of cardboard, and these are athletes, and some of them are basketball players, so they're like 7'10", and this is a 5'8" by 8 foot bed, out of cardboard. So yeah, I mean, if they sit on it, it'll probably just. So a lot of them are complaining. Oh, and the food, yeah, that's green too. So yeah, they're not eating it because it's not edible. This is another thing I should have touched on. I'm just going to have to go. Everybody stay on your toes. If you see a cause that is should be a cause, like with these little baby girls, yeah, they should have come out and said something. Yeah, they should come out and defend these little girls. They're dead. There's 3 of them dead. They're just dead. The rest are fighting for their lives, including 2 adults who tried to shield them. 13 air life fights out there. Oh my God. Yeah. So you should be supporting all of these parents who are out there going, oh my God. They're not battening down and all of that. In Paris, when they got done protesting, Antifa was sprayed everywhere. You couldn't walk for the broken glass in streets, not to mention them burning bicycles, whatever else they could bloom and find. And that's how they left Paris on the opening of the Olympics. Yeah. All of them with them Palestinian flags and then headcloths. Yeah. Don't mind us. We're just going to leave a mess and trash your place. And that's what they did. And people are tired of it. Now they got these murders. I knew that this boy was. I knew. There's just no other reason. You don't go out and murder little girls. Not if you're correct and right in mind. Somebody's programmed you, maybe. I don't know how. But this isn't a person who should stay on the planet. This is a person they should televise hanging. I'm totally for getting these people off the planet. I don't think somebody should pay $58,000 a year for each prisoner and put them in these prisons that are they're civilian run prisons now. They just make the money, millions of it a day. This is ridiculous. You have murderers in there that are murderers without a shadow of a doubt, then they need to be gone. Now, you can use the needle. I don't care how they do it. Texas is pretty good at it. If you don't know, check with Texas. Love Texas. I see my time's about up. I know I have around a bit. So if anybody, I lost y'all, or there's something you want me to talk about, if you want to talk to me about something, just shout up in here, okay? I'll try to get to you, I promise. In the meantime, guys, stay healthy, stay happy. Love all of you guys. Come see me again. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where you're from, guys. Miss everybody. Toodle pip.